As he believes threats of a strike by some police officers are non-existent. This morning, speaking on SABC Radio, SA Police Union President Mpho Kwinika said officers were planning to go on strike because of problems with promotions, but he wouldn't say this morning how many officers would go on strike. Police officers are classified as an essential service, which means that they're not legally allowed to strike. The Police Minister Bheki Cele is with me now. Minister, good evening. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for your time.
Good evening.
You say you're not worried about the strike. Why?
Not at all. Excuse me for some flu. Not at all, because it has been the faceless people that have come through the social media, not a single structure. Even the President, Kwinika, that you're talking about, when we were in the media briefing, he said they worked the whole night last night trying to say to the members they shouldn't be part of that pop crew. Not worried because nothing has come. Myself, Office of the National Commissioner, nothing. So there is no structure called Twitter that deals with the police and directs the police what next step of their life should do.
You had an urgent press conference about this morning. Were you worried about a strike?
Well, we had to answer. We had to answer to the people of South Africa. We can't just, when we hear such things, and allow it to go unchallenged, allow people not to know what's the story. We had to say this is a position. Worried when people don't understand, when people are not informed, you would be worried. So we had to stand up and we say, no strike is coming. But also, if there are elements within our organization to say that will be out of order, because things that are complaining about, that definitely online, those things are getting fixed. For instance, I wouldn't know why the police would sit for 10 years without promotion and say nothing, when 32,053 of them are promoted en masse, and then there is noise about it. I don't think that police will follow that misdirection.
Right, I'm going to come to the issues of promotion. I mean, there's clearly some issues with promotion. I realise that you're aware of those issues. But just for clarity's sake, if a police officer does strike, that's an illegal act, right?
Indeed.
What action are you able to take against them if you do? Do you have to get their colleagues to arrest them?
Well, I have said I refuse to answer this question because it looks like I'm going for shadow boxing. If I don't have a shred of evidence on this, so I'm not going to really talk on that speculation when there is no information that has any form of credence about it. So I'm not going to spend my time on shadow boxing on this matter.
All right, so we have it from you, no strike action. We don't need to worry on Monday. We'll obviously keep an eye on what happens. The issue is promotion, and this is what certainly Mpho Kwinika said on SFM this morning, but other people have been talking about it. So the issue is that essentially the problem is that people, they say, aren't being promoted. And with promotion, of course, comes more pay. I mean, is it more pay or is it promotion step that you think is the issue?
Well, as a part of the police, working as a police before, I know that police are very keen on two things: promotion and the increment on when it comes to salary. Look, where does this thing come from? The origin of this is on the 15th of May, when I read the budget speech. I outlined this thing, what is going to happen. We had 69,219 overdue promotions that were there 15, 10, 8 years coming up that have never been promoted. And we said we can't allow that situation, that demoralizing, police can't do their work and all that. But the problem, the bill was too huge, it's 2 billion to promote them en masse. So we broke it in 3-year cycle. Promoting this year, financial year, we've done 32,053, and then out of 69, or almost 45 that is left, we'll finish them in the 2-cycle year. So that has happened, and it is happening, going on. So I'll be really wondering why, when the things are beginning to happen, or they are happening, and then you have a problem when you stay 10 years without a problem, where there was no movement, where there was no progress at all in life.
Let's listen to the President of the South African Police Union, Mpho Kwinika. This is what he said about it today, about the promotions issue.
These members will have to wait for 11 years and more for them to be able to move. What kind of a department is this, where a young man who comes from the university comes in here, he has got no career pathing, before he could even move, he have to wait for 11 years. They waited. They were patient. But when the opportunity comes for them to be promoted, other people are considered.
So Bheki Cele, you're saying that situation has actually been rectified. The situation that he's talking about no longer exists?
You see, he has a document in his hand. The document says that from this financial year, all people from 11 years who have been the sergeants or constable for 11 years are automatically progressing, are promoted. So next financial year will take them from 5 years to 10 or 11 years, and then the other year we finish with them. Those that have not been promoted for many years will be done, and then you go back to normal. So it's absolutely not true, and I talked to him even this afternoon, and these 11 years he talks about are the people that have been promoted en masse, 32,053 of them.
Okay. Doesn't this create another problem? Because a structure of a police service, so you know far more about it than I do, but it might look a little bit like, for example, an army, a military. You have a lot more people at the bottom than you have at the top. You only have one national police commissioner, right? So what I'm saying is that if someone is an officer at the bottom, they start their career, you would, in many other countries, they would not necessarily stay in the police for their entire working lives. So are you creating a problem, perhaps because you have no other choice, where you are automatically promoting people? So you have too many people of certain rank, when you should have most of the police service as actual police officers on the ground doing the job of a police officer.
Well, for 11 years, as you said, they should have been long promoted. You can't keep 11 years stagnation in life.
Would everyone be promoted as well?
No. Not everyone will be promoted. That's that. But you are ignoring the entrance, the new people. For instance, this year, we announced at the beginning of the year the budget speech that we'll be taking in 3,500. What have we done? We've taken in 5,000. Last year, we passed 3,700, which means we have almost 9,000 new people. You give the space as they go. I agree. We won't have the army or the police of the generals and all that. But at the same time, we're not going to allow the life of the people to be stagnant. But one thing that we're working, and we have worked on the policy, is that those that on the crucial, special people that don't come easy, takes time to have experience, like your detectives. There's nothing wrong promoting salary, and you keep a person where it's more effective, but promoting salary, give the money that would have been of the captain when you're a warrant officer. Those are the mixed things, and which police would agree that if you can't promote me because it's more essential where I am, but give me something as incentive, which we agree on it.
Okay, this might all be about other issues as well, though. So, I mean, it's demonstrating as a symptom, it's coming up as an issue around promotions. But the real issue might just be a sense of dissatisfaction in the service. We all know the problems that police officers have. We know how difficult their job is. Do you think this might just be an indication of other problems?
It's coming from who? Because except the president of SABC, nobody has spoken about it except the social media where I've read faceless and all that talking things. Nobody has come up. You see, they are creating these stories. They say this thing is anchored in KZN. Why? They say because there are long queues at the police station, so there is already a go-slow. I went to Alexandra police station. I've never seen such a long queue. The problem, people go to stations for affidavits, whereas there are other places where they can go. All councillors are commissioners of oath, principals of school and all. They should go there for this. But they go to police stations. Now, somebody saw a long queue in one of the Durban police station and said there is a go-slow, which has been there all the time. One guy lost his camera. He went to the police station that is not in the jurisdiction where he's supposed. He was told to go to that station, which is a problem that happens every day, but because it happened, so it's a story that those that created, I hate to say media, but those that created the story want to sustain the story, want to sustain the narrative that the police have a problem. I'm telling you, first stop would be POPRU, would be SAPU, and SAPU, I have asked the president, they say they phone him, there would be me, police, junior, at every junior level, they speak to me, they speak to commissioner. That's why I give my number at all public platforms so that people can talk to me. It hasn't happened. What I've encountered is a jubilation of the promotion by the members going forward, saying, look, indeed, I've been in this rank for far too long, and this en masse promotion is a history in the South African police. It hasn't happened. So I can assure you, many, big chunk of the South African police members are happy.
Okay, I mean, you say that in public, you might get a response on social media, but I know you'll say it's faceless. Let's see what happens. Yesterday there was an incident outside the Union buildings. I don't know if you've seen the video of it. It was about a woman who was protesting about something that had happened at UNISA. UNISA says she was employed by someone else. She took most of her clothes off outside the Union buildings, and as a result of that, police were called. Police would have been there anyway at the Union buildings, and she was carried off. Now, it was female police officers that did this, but she was literally carried away almost like a sack of potatoes. Do you think that when we look at all the issues around gender violence, that it's right that a woman who is already in a vulnerable position should be treated like that?
Well, I'm glad that you did mention the fact that it was female officers. Well, I saw the video. It was shown to me today. They could have been less physical about removing the lady to the police van and all that. I would agree with that. But for the fact that police themselves were sensitive enough to send the female officers, that is correct for them. But generally, the support that is given to such people, it also goes, I don't know what will be the charge if there is a charge, but it does go with the distance. There are kids that move around there and all that we think around, but as they did it, I agree they should have been softer a little bit.
Okay. There is another issue, and this comes up all the time. It came up during the Babes Rudumo case last week or the week before, around how women will go to a police station and report a crime. It will be a man who's committed the crime. Either they've been attacked, they've been hit, they've been assaulted, or it will be a case of rape or something like that. Just the other day there was a case involving a diplomat that allegedly a police officer told the woman to, and it was two female police officers, told her to go and try and get money rather than to actually lodge the case. We keep hearing about this, where police officers, female police officers often, will turn female victims of violence away. Why do you think that keeps happening?
Well, I don't know why it would happen. I don't know what's the case about Babes Rudumo. Babes Rudumo went to the police, opened the case, and all Mambinja went there. But we do have a problem at the front desk of the South African police when it comes to the gender abused cases and all that kind of thing. So there would be two issues. I don't know if I were a woman and I have to go and explain to the men how I was raped, how that easy it would be. Secondly, then you need to put more female officers. But one thing that you can't divorce from that is a thorough training and the understanding the trauma. I guess women will understand better the trauma of passing, even if you have never been raped, but you will understand and sympathize better than a woman that has been raised. But it's a thing that has been coming up time and again, and the Commissioner and myself trying to work on it to say, look, it's not your job to ask too many questions. Was this the dress you were wearing? How were you sitting and all that? Open the case, write the statement. But one thing that we are working hard are the place of secrecy, privacy at the police station. Not just to take the statement where everybody is listening and all that, but also have some privacy. When an abused woman comes at 11 o'clock at night, you must have some facilities of keeping her until you take to the place of safety the next day. Those are the things that we are trying to put with the Department of Social Work to work together to put those things, and some NGOs to make conditions to be more friendly to the people, so that you don't punish them for the second time, a double jeopardy for the women because they've come to the police station.
Do you worry sometimes that because our police officers deal with so much, our society throws up very difficult problems? They will literally see someone being attacked or hit, be attacked or hit themselves. They're often at threat of having their firearms stolen and being attacked for that. Do you worry that our police officers become too hard? They lose a part of their humanity, and that might be why, through no fault of their own. The same thing would happen to me, to anyone, if I was in that position. But that's why maybe they just lack the sheer human capacity to look after victims in the way victims would like to be looked after, just because of what they go through.
Some of them. It can't be all of them, some of them. Human beings are not at the same strength. That's why we have a lot of program of the wellness within the South African police. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work and all that. I agree with you. That's why there are femicide, there are suicide and all that. But that unit is watching very close on those matters, and I want to believe if we did not have that unit that deals with those members, situation would be worse. It's bad, I agree, but we need to work hard with other NGOs, with church people, so that the police are taken on board when it comes to this stress. I'm telling you, I work with the police very closely, and the stress they experience, picking up dead bodies every day and going to most dangerous places every day, we need to put a lot of wellness and taking care of them mentally and otherwise, including promoting them, including making their life better, both mentally, physically, and even materially. To say to them, you are welcome, to say to them, we are part of us as South Africans, so we appreciate what you do.
Minister, thank you so much for your time. You're glad to be on the ANC list again?
Yes, I am.
Minister of Police Bheki Cele with us. Thank you very much indeed. Really do appreciate the time, sir.